Hi everyone, this is the third video of my series. There may be more after this, but I'm hoping I can get through everything in this session. So the last video we went over the basic concept behind the betting pattern. So you want to pick a pattern to bet against. The last video we decided to pick win loss loss as a pattern we're betting against. Wait for that pattern to appear, and then you're betting that it's not going to appear 3 consecutive times. If it does appear 3 consecutive times, then you wait for the pattern to play out. Typically, it will play out after 3 spins. There may be cases where it expands to 4 spins, even 5 or 6. Six is very rare. 5 is rare too, but it does happen. So you just wait for that pattern to end. Wait for a new pattern to appear. In this case, win loss win. Then your betting thereafter is going to be based on the win loss win not repeating consecutively. And as I explained in the prior video, it is common through 100 spins to see 8 to 12 instances of patterns repeating consecutively, followed by another pattern repeating consecutively, but that's when the pattern only appears twice. So in this case, let's say win loss loss, win loss loss shows up twice, right? And then it's followed by a win loss win, a win loss win. That's common. Like I said, you may see that 8 to 12 times through 100 spins, but you'll see a lot less a pattern like this, where it's a consecutive streak of 3 or more followed by another pattern that repeats. So think of it as the 3-2 method, right? So that's how I'd like to think of it. Or the 3+2 method, maybe, because you're waiting for a streak of 3 of a certain pattern to come up, a streak of 3 or more, followed by a different pattern that comes up twice. You just won't see that too often. From my experience, again, using the 100 spins as the gauge here, you may see that come up not at all. That's common. Or you may see it come up once. The most I've seen is 3 times. But that's, when you're betting against all 4 patterns. Now, if you're betting against just one pattern, the likelihood of you, seeing that come up, is low. It could come up twice through 100 spins, or it could not come up at all. And then at that point, if you do have a loss, it's up to you if you want to increase your betting increment. So I always start with betting increments of 1. If you encounter a loss, you could increase it up to 2, from there to 4. That's really dependent upon you. Or you could just stick with 1, because it's going to be, again, rare to see you have losses when you just pick one pattern to bet against. And your expected profit, if you're using an increment of 1 through 100 spins, can be anywhere from, say, $40 to $70. That just depends on how often this pattern comes up. And that's really something you can't predict. Again, from my experience, on average, you're looking at closer to $50 to $70, but I'll say 40 just to expand your range a bit and to be realistic that it could happen, because again, roulette is random. I'm not saying that you're going to win every time you play. That's asinine to say that. But I do think this is a method that, again, mitigates a lot of the risk associated with roulette. You're not placing a high number of bets. Yes, martingale is involved to a certain degree. You really can't get around bet progressions for any roulette method. That's just impossible to get around. But I think this method is more solid than someone that's going out and starting with an increment of even 1 and then going up to where you're betting $200, $500. You're just going to lose money that way. So here we're making at most 6 bets. If you do encounter a streak where you lose, you're losing $64 at most. Pretty easy to make up with this method, especially if you play at a rapid roulette terminal. And if there are any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Again, I'm just going to scan across. You can see the other bets we made here. Based on betting against win, loss, loss. Thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoyed the videos.